All right, welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the LA Chargers and going over whether or not they should trade for Miami Dolphins cornerback Xavien Howard. But before getting to that topic, question for those of you and I want to hear from the Chargers fans: what is your trade package? What are you offering the Dolphins in exchange for Howard? Getting straight into it, if you did not hear, Xavien Howard, all-pro cornerback, arguably a top 3 cornerback in the league, has announced that he's requesting a trade from the Miami Dolphins. He is unhappy with this contract, and the Chargers, a team that might be just one piece away, one all-pro player away, could be a team that's in the market for Xavien Howard. I just made a video on Xavien Howard specifically and where he should go. I said a team that should be trading for him is a team that might be one piece away, a team that is desperate, or a team that has a lot of capital. Chargers obviously don't fit all those circumstances, but they do fit the criteria of being a team that with one extra piece can make a Super Bowl run. Personally, if I'm the Chargers, I'm not saying they have to do this, but I think it's silly if they don't at least make a phone call. Just see what's he going to cost. You know, if the Chargers or if the Dolphins are asking for 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, hang up. You can't give up that much. But if their starting point is 2 first-round picks, I would be willing to negotiate and talk about that. You got to figure he's a top 3 cornerback in the league. For reference, Jalen Ramsey, a guy that's similar tier to Xavien Howard, went for 2 first-round picks and then some. Jamal Adams, a lot of people like him as a top 5 safety in the league. He went for 2 first-round picks and then some. Chargers, you got to be willing to part with some capital, draft capital in that sense, but you only have a rookie quarterback for so long. You have to take the big risk while you can. You have to be aggressive. Aggressiveness pays off in the NFL in all sports. You know, the Chiefs year after year are making the playoffs with Alex Smith. They said that's not enough. We want to go to the Super Bowl. They went up and traded in the draft, took a risk on getting Mahomes. They already got a ring in result of it. The Bucs, this is an extreme case. They're talking about the GOAT here, but they took a risk on signing a 43-year-old quarterback, and it resulted in a Super Bowl ring. The Chargers need to take a risk on this type of guy. You can't tell me Xavien Howard isn't going to fit in Brandon Staley's scheme. Thinking about it, last year, Brandon Staley led the Rams defense to the #1 defense in the league with key pieces, with Jalen Ramsey, Darius Williams. This year, he would have Xavien Howard, Derwin James. In my opinion, I'm taking that duo over Ramsey and Darius Williams. He had Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd. This year, he'll have Joey Bosa and Uchenna Nwosu. Donald and Floyd proved a little more because Uchenna Nwosu is still a little bit unproven, but still, Brandon Staley can almost make a carbon copy of what he did with the Rams, with the Chargers, if they were able to get that #1 guy in Xavien Howard. And there's still potential behind those, top tier dudes. There's still Jerry Tillery, Chris Rumpf, Kenneth Murray Jr., Asante Samuel Jr., Chris Harris Jr., Michael Davis. There's a lot of star power and a lot of depth. If you can add Xavien Howard to this team, we're talking about a serious Super Bowl threat all of a sudden. They would become a top 5 defense. They would become a defense and offense that are both extremely balanced and both have the potential to be top 5 each. If Herbert continues to progress, if the offensive line gels, Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Mike Williams, Jalen Guyton, the backfield of Austin Eckler, that is a Super Bowl caliber team. I already like the Chargers as a dark horse Super Bowl team this year without Howard, but without him, they are a dark horse. A team that has a shot, but not a great one. It's not a 1 in a million chance, but it's not a 50-50 chance either. You throw in Xavien Howard, the odds, Vegas is going to be changing some odds very, very soon. I just think this would take them to the next level. Of course, it's risky. Of course, it might not pay off, but you got to go big or go home sometimes. Of course, worrying about what the price would be, what would I negotiate for Xavien Howard personally? 2 firsts would be my ideal. I don't want to give up 2 firsts and 2 thirds, but that might be what you had to work with. I was considering maybe throwing in a player. Jalen Guyton, I believe, is a guy that can really hit that next level. He's still really young and could develop, but I'm willing to part with him for an Xavien Howard if it could save me a pick. Theoretically, say the Dolphins are looking for 2 firsts and 2 thirds. That's, I'm pretty sure, what right around Jamal Adams looking for. 2 firsts and 2 thirds. That's what the Dolphins want. What if the Chargers offer 2 firsts and Jalen Guyton? That saves you a little bit of capital. That gives you away a receiver that has some speed, but you also drafted Josh Palmer, who's an up-and-coming rookie. It'll reset the rookie clock on price. It'll save you a little bit of money, just a little bit more. And it just gives a bigger role to Josh Palmer, an extra rookie that will step up, hopefully. Again, it's some risk you're taking on, and you're losing a guy that has some high upside and a high ceiling, but it's also saving some future draft capital. 2 thirds that would practically be saving you. Again, I'm not a GM. I'm not in the front office. I'm not Tom Telesco, Brandon Staley, Brian Flores, Chris Greer. I don't know if that would compensate it exactly. I'm not in the front office able to crunch the numbers like those guys are down to the exact pick. I don't know how they find the value exactly, but just from my broad opinion, I would be willing to throw in a player, of course, as long as we're not talking about the haymakers, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert. But if they're willing to take an extra guy that has, he's kind of a role player today, but has the potential to hit that next level, a Jalen Guyton, maybe they're willing to take a Chris Harris Jr. for a year. Again, don't want to part with him, but if it saves me, what if the Dolphins are willing to take 1 first-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, Jalen Guyton, Chris Harris Jr.? Lose a little bit of depth, but you still got a first round in the following year, and you only lost 1 first-round pick. That's something I could bite off on. Again, this is just my broad opinion. These picks, this trade scenarios may not even be close to the realm of possibility, but just from my opinion, that is possibly a starting point to work around. I don't know what the Dolphins are looking for. They could be looking for 3 first-round picks for all I know, but just comparing it to the similar references of Jalen Ramsey, Jamal Adams, I think 2 first-round picks is going to be the starting point. But even then, that doesn't exactly scare me away. The Chargers need to be aggressive. Like I said, it works in the NFL for the most part. If you want to catch up to the Chiefs, you got to do it now. And, trading for Xavien Howard doesn't mean Super Bowl in 2021 to 2022 or bust. It just means you got a great 3-4 year window while Herbert's on his rookie contract. It doesn't have to be happening now, but it would give you a great chance over the next 3-4 years. This team, even if you got Howard, it would still lack some chemistry and experience together. Offensive line has to gel. Xavien Howard will have to gel. Brandon Staley still has to fill the shoes of controlling offense and defense. We got to see how Joe Lombardi is. We got to see how Justin Herbert steps up. There's a lot of things to consider, of course. But if you want to take a big step in the right direction, this would be one. I get that there's risk. I get this is not the Tom Telesco way. But this is crazy, crazy offseason this year. Matthew Stafford trade, Carson Wentz trade, Sam Darnold trade, Jared Goff trade, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Chandler Jones is requesting a trade. Xavien Howard's requesting a trade. Stephon Gilmore's requesting a trade. It's a crazy offseason. Why not make it a little bit more crazy? Go out there, get Xavien Howard. Put some fear in the eye of the Chiefs. Mahomes said he messed up the quote. He said, I'll see it when I believe it. He's going to see this, and he's going to believe it if you see Xavien Howard carrying the defense, not carrying, you guys know what I mean, and Justin Herbert carrying the offense. That is going to be an extremely balanced team in the NFL that I think anyone would fear, not just the Chiefs. You guys tell me, though, are you all for it, all against it? Maybe I'm just excited and I'm not thinking about some little variable or factor that I'm not taking into account. I'm willing to see your opinions. I'm willing to be open-minded and sway one way or the other. I love hearing your guys' takes, so make sure to drop them down below. As always, of course, thank you for watching, guys. Of course, referring back to the question of the video, let me hear your trade package. Mine, like I said, it's going to start around 2 first-round picks likely, but I would throw in the options of a role player, Jalen Guyton, who has a high ceiling. If it saves me some capital, Chris Harris Jr., a veteran I don't want to lose, but I'm not saying it's off limits as well. Okay, I'm not saying I want to get rid of those guys, but it's also an option. You guys tell me though what you think. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. Truly, truly appreciate it. I love when big blockbuster trades comes out, and I love talking about the LA Chargers. Bolt up. Thank you for watching. 2 Minute Warning.